Welcome to the Friday podcast with me, Mark Lewis.
And me, Jen Lewis.
And a little bit of housekeeping. First of all, this episode is going public. So normally, Friday podcast episodes are a Patreon treat, as it were. But every now and again, about twice a year, I think is our routine. Although I've only been doing this for a year, so twice so far this year. We release one to the general public so everyone can see what they're missing and then jump over to Patreon and see more if you want or don't. It's up to you. Hey, we don't mind. If you're watching this and you're not a patron, welcome aboard. Buckle up for the podcast of your life. What else? Oh, yes. Also, just to kind of tidy things up a bit, you may have seen some clips from the Friday podcast, little teaser clips, as it were, popping up on the main YouTube channel. That's not going to happen anymore. We're going to leave the main YouTube channel for just awesome regular YouTube videos. And the Mark Lewis podcast channel is going to have anything podcasty. So season 2 of the Mark Lewis podcast, talk about that in a moment, is going to be on there. And any clips from the Friday podcast that go public will be on there. So pretty straightforward. Podcast stuff goes on the podcast channel and non-podcast stuff does not. That's about it, isn't it? I think pretty straightforward.
Will that include race reviews?
Oh, good question. Don't overcomplicate things.
Okay.
Other than to say, if you're now thinking race reviews, that sounds incredibly exciting. A, yeah, you're right, it is. And B, they're also a Patreon perk. So if we go and do a race, we try to do a little review of how that race went, which normally consists on the Monday of me saying I tried really hard and did really well, and you saying I had a lovely time. And that's good too. I'm not putting that down.
Good.
Anyway, race reviews. Yeah, I'm not sure where they're going to go. Well, they'll go on the podcast channel because they're kind of podcasty. Basically, if it's you and me sat in front of a microphone like this, it's going to be on the podcast channel. Right,
Yeah.
let's get on. Okay, also, I should say, normally we have lots of kind of sound effects. That's the wrong word, isn't it? Sound effects. I
don't think we have lots either. A handful.
We have a splattering of sound effects that we use throughout the podcast. But Jen is editing this one today, and it gets a bit complicated.
This is concerning, given it's the one you're picking to put out there.
I know, yeah. But to make your life easier, we're not going to have sound effects because, without getting too kind of behind the scenes technical, the sound effects run on a different channel, and you have to edit that channel in, and it all gets a bit, too much for you to handle on your first go. I'm not suggesting you can't, do 3 things at once, but, let's kind of start with 2 and see how we go. Right. What happened? I could do the sound effects, couldn't I? We don't have a sound effect for what happened. So just what happened? Hit us.
We went up to Sheffield to film on the Turbolator.
Can I suggest you go back a bit because you're not doing it chronologically?
Do as it need to be?
Do as it need to be.
Does
it need to be? Does it? No, it does not. Okay, let's start. Start with the Tumbler then. Off you go.
Well,
Sheffield.
it was the thing that was first in my mind.
Yeah, it's still in my mind as well because I'm still concussed.
We went up there on there. Sorry, I'm very
what are you talking? Yeah, you just sound like a fighter. There, we went up there.
It's because you've got it in my head now.
We jumped on our tractor.
This makes it seem like I put on a voice, so I don't sound so farmer-like.
Yeah, I should point out in case you're wondering why has Jen slipped into speaking like Wurzel Gummidge. Americans now wondering who Wurzel Gummidge is. Jen is from farming stock. Jen's family are a family of farmers. Their family before them were farmers, and their family before them probably lived in caves. Actually, I think going back to about 1920, your family were probably in caves.
Thank you.
But since they came out of the cave, they hunter gatherers. They were not. They just gathered, and now here you are. There you go. History of Jen in 5 seconds. Carry on.
And up to Sheffield where we filmed the Turbolator. Went up there on Wednesday and it was fun.
I'm going to get some people are going to be so annoyed with me butting in, and also you have to edit backwards and forwards between looking at me and looking at you. It's not. I don't know what you're calling it. The Turbolator.
Is that not what they call it?
That sounds like some sort of fancy washing machine.
I thought it sounded a bit like the Terminator.
Because it's got "ator" on the end. Yeah, it's the Tumbolator.
Oh, so close.
The Tumbolator. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe we should just start again and just.
No, because I'd say let's keep the editing nice and simple.
Does it called again? The Tumbleator.
Tumbleator. Say tumble.
Tumble.
Ater. Tumbleator.
Thank you.
You're
We went
welcome.
up on Wednesday, filmed on Thursday. It was great fun. For me, at least. I didn't concuss myself.
Are you going to explain what it is?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So it is a giant treadmill, which we used or has been used by many people to do like a Kipchoge kind of running challenge or emulation.
Yeah. Wow. I hope your editing's better than your ability to speak today.
To be fair, we are doing this very, very early, and that's not normally the case.
8:15 in the morning. Some people have put a full day's shift in already. Look, the Tumbleator is the giant treadmill that is used. Yeah, it goes around expos and stuff, running expos where you jump on it, you try and run at the speed that Kipchoge runs at for his marathon.
Or faster.
Yeah, I say or faster. I've never seen it used faster, but I can assure you, we told those boys crank that baby up, and they did. In fact, they had to go and reprogram it, didn't they? Because they said, oh, it maxes out at about 15 miles per hour, I think.
Well, it maxed out about 13 or 14 kilometers an hour. I don't know what that's.
No. It must be miles per hour because Kipchoge's running.
Okay, that must have been the miles then. Sorry.
Yeah, so it maxed out at Kipchoge's speed, but because it's dangerous. Basically, they were saying if they turn up to an expo, like a running expo, and then some kid jumps on it and the guy slips and accidentally turns the dial all the way up to 11, then the kid flies off the back, ejected, and they don't want that to happen. But for us, they reprogrammed it and said,
or eject you off the back.
Fast and Furious. So how to go on that? Not going to say any more. Did I run as fast as Kipchoge? Obviously I did. How long did I run for? In fact, did Jen? That's not quite so obvious. So I won't even hint as to what happened there. I fell over a few times. And falling over on it was a mixed bag of events because on the one hand, fun. I mean, just fun. On the other hand, hurts. So kind of fun and hurts. That was basically how I'd sum that up. Today I feel like I've fallen over a lot at high speed. I've got kind of friction burns and a headache. And
I saw your first fall and thought, no, that's not for me.
Yeah, in fact, my first fall was, I didn't intend to fall at that point, but yeah, I did. Anyway, so we did some tumblating. Let's go. That video is going to be. That's not this week.
That's not this Sunday. Next Sunday.
No, that's next Sunday. Although we will be dropping some bits and pieces on Instagram and stuff, so you'll be able to see me tumblating. I guess you'd call it tumblating.
I wonder who came up with the name.
Tumbleation.
Should have asked.
Yeah, they're quite an interesting company actually because the company Canning Conveyors have been making for since your family were in caves a giant system of conveyor belts for moving kind of stuff around quarries. In fact, didn't they say one of their conveyor belts was like 2 miles long or something insane? So if you've got a quarry, I don't know if anyone out there's got a quarry. I mean, nice work if you have, I guess. And you want to move your, what would you quarry?
Well, they were on about one that was doing granite in Scotland.
Okay, so there you go. So if you've got some granite and your granite is over on your left and you want to get it over on your right, you use one of their conveyor belts and it whoosh, and it whooshes it. Anyway, a few years ago, in fact, I think he said 1984 maybe, Superman 3 anyway wanted a conveyor belt and they said, can you make us one? So they kind of got into the entertainment world. They make the travelators for gladiators and circuses, yeah, all sorts of stuff. So they do kind of stuntmen use these things. It was really quite cool. And also they weren't. I mean, I should say they were very good on health and safety. I felt very safe the entire time. But also they were quite relaxed about health and safety. Do you know what? Their health and safety felt like 1987 in the sense that there was health and safety, but they weren't kind of doing like nowadays health and safety. It felt a little bit 80s.
I feel like with something like that, you can't go too full board health and safety because you wouldn't have, just wouldn't be able to use it.
Well, that's the thing. You wouldn't be able to get on it. I mean, I had a couple of falls on there, and I I was enjoying the freedom to basically potentially injure myself. I mean, you could injure yourself. In fact, we don't want to kind of portray it as dangerous in any way, but some people have used it and got injured. Such as life. You walk out the front door. Take your life in your hands. Anyway, they were quite relaxed about it. It was I could sense a kind of a Fred Dibner air about
especially
their
given
approach.
when they do expos. I mean, if you went to town on health and safety, you'd never get like the whole queue down, would you?
Absolutely, yeah, indeed. Yeah, if you've got 100 people wanting to have a go on it, and they're willing to kind of sign away their life before they do so. Anyway, so we did the tumble-18. Before that, the videos come out this week. We ran against. Well, we didn't really. We raced against the times set by old people. So if you're an old person, what are we defining old as today?
I was going to say retired onwards, but people retire at different ages. State pension age onwards? I reckon that's old.
Some of our listeners might be in countries that have no state pension.
Okay, I reckon 70 plus then.
That would tie in nicely with what we did, yeah. So if you're old, 70 plus, and you think, oh, life's not worth living, I'm game over, watch our video, because we run against the times set by some masters athletes, and I try and beat them on the track, basically, just see if I can run around a track as fast as these old people. And
going all the way up to the grand age of 95.
Yeah, some guy, and he ran that at 96. In fact, he's no longer with us, that chap, unfortunately. I say unfortunately, I mean, he was 96 when he ran that. That was a few years ago. So
He did well.
he did, yeah, he was running to the end, almost, literally. The pace he was going at 96, I thought would be a walk. So when I tried to emulate it, I started walking, got halfway around the track and thought, oh, bloody hell, I need to start running because this old guy is running.
Well, he was definitely jogging along.
Yeah, he was. I mean, what I'm going to do for the video is I'm going to put famous people of the appropriate age up so you can see. I'm trying to think now who a 96-year-old person I could even put up.
The Queen.
Is.
Didn't the Queen get to quite old?
I don't know, but also the Queen was a female. I don't want to get into the words that's female. I'll go with a man.
Okay, what does that matter? Also, do you know what I was thinking would be
I don't think the Queen is a good representation of
an old person,
of an old athlete.
Well, no, not an old athlete, but
it's
a very small pool.
Yeah,
if you're going to do athletes only.
All right, okay.
I just thought you meant famous old people of similar age.
Hey, talking about the Queen. Anybody out there really interested in the huge news story about which royal is racist and which royal is not right? Anybody out there? Anyway, if you are out there, get lost. Go find a tall cliff with a short path up to it and take a long walk towards it. Who cares? Who cares?
I feel like you've massively skipped it in the news section here.
Who cares? I turned on the computer this morning to look for an in the news story, and I met with, did this old white billionaire, Charles, upset this multi-millionaire billionaire? Who cares?
Is she a billionaire?
I don't know. Shock and awe.
There's no way that they're billionaires.
Rich old white people that live in a palace might not be kind of bang up to date with their. Do you know what? I tell you who doesn't care. I tell you who doesn't care about this story.
Apparently.
I don't care about this story. And anybody going, whoa, pump your brakes. This is a racism story, and so therefore you should care. No, it's not a racism story. I'll tell you what a racism story is. A racism story is the 14-year-old black kid that can't walk to school without the police stopping searching him, okay, because he might have too many books in his bag or something. That's not racism. If you want to talk about racism story, go and talk to that kid. Go and ask the guy who's gets stopped 15 times a month in his car because it's a bit more expensive than the police think he should be driving because he's black. Go and ask him how concerned he is about whether Charles thought that baby was going to be green, pink, or have, I don't know, polka dot spots.
A weird looking baby.
I imagine he would say, well, hang on, I'll give you my answer once I finish getting flipping patted down by the police again because they saw me with the briefcase and thought, that can't be right. Flipping race. Oh, Umber does my... Oh.
I feel like all your examples of racism probably don't compare to like what people experience in America or somewhere like that.
What, are you kidding? You think that people in America aren't? I'd imagine it's even worse in America.
That's what I mean. That's what I said. I just said the examples that you gave
Yeah.
don't probably even compare to like the
Oh, I
ones
see.
in America.
I absolutely, exactly. Well, in America,
Not to obviously dampen the fact that obviously people will suffer here as well. That
I
wasn't
tell
my
you what,
point.
the thing that always makes me that Chris Rock did that sketch years ago about how.
Which one?
Yeah, I don't think you've even seen it. It's a Chris Rock sketch about how black people should be, how you should be basically when you get pulled over by the
Oh, I
police.
have seen it.
Okay, right, and he kind of jokes around with the idea that basically you just do exactly what you are told. Keep your hands where you can see them and that kind of jazz. And it's a comedy sketch, but clearly has a huge degree of reality. If you are pulled over by the police, yeah, keep your hands where you can see them because if you start waving around the glove box, I mean, we don't in this country. I mean, in this country, I don't know if I try and remember last time I got pulled over by the police. I can't even
At
remember.
Christmas. Last year or the year before? The year before.
Coming home from your parents.
2 Christmases ago.
Yeah, do you know what goes through my mind is how annoying. How annoying.
To be fair, you were speeding.
I was hardly speeding. Anyway, I don't care. It doesn't go. What doesn't go through my mind is I better keep my hands where I can see them in case I get shot. That doesn't go through my
Well,
mind.
that's because they don't have guns. So why would that go through your
Well,
mind?
they don't. But equally, I've been pulled over by police with guns. I got pulled over. Actually, I say that I got pulled over in Australia once. And I don't know if they have guns or not. What is that noise?
Do you have to do that? Because now I have to edit all this out.
No, you don't. You can leave this. It's the bins. Okay,
bin
we're
men.
doing the podcast during. It makes it sound like we're in a bin. I can hear just rumbling in the background. Anyway, my point was Charles, Camilla. I don't know who the people. I'm just randomly naming names, by the way. But
I thought it was Catherine.
yeah, I don't know. Henry VIII. I don't know which Henry VIII. Crikey, you can imagine him. He would have been. He looked like a bit of a kind of a. He looked like the sort of guy that would be asking what colour a baby's going to be. Just so he could eat it. Yeah, because he's obviously, it's funny because he's fat. Where have I got that from in my head? Oh, that's we watched The Hangover, didn't we? And funny. Oh, I was going to do an impersonation
Wow.
then of a what is he?
Asian person?
Well, yeah, it's nice Asian because I think he's Korean. I was going to say the wrong Asian, but he is, yeah. And I didn't. I pulled it back at the last minute then, folks. You nearly got an
Although, is that
Asian
Asian or is
impression.
that not Korean then?
It doesn't.
I
Well,
don't.
if he's from Korea, he's also from Asia.
Is Korea part of Asia?
Okay, I'll tell you what, let's wind this back because this is going public and I don't want to get cancelled on our first one. Talking of which, do you know what? Things annoy me. By the way, if you're new to the podcast and you're thinking, hang on a minute, they've gone off on a tangent, yeah, welcome aboard. I've gone down a little bit of an Elon Musk hole this morning.
Oh, I heard something in the news about him telling people to F off.
Yeah. Oh, nice interview.
His,
I'm liking Elon Musk more and more. Now, Elon,
Advertisers on X have gone.
Before I jump into that, I'm just flicking through some of Elon Musk.
What did he endorse? Because I
I'll
heard
tell
that
you in a second.
it was an anti-Semitic post, wasn't it?
It was. You got that. That was.
I got there.
You got there quite quickly with that word. That was nice. Look, I've gone down a bit of an Elon Musk hole, and just some things just make my eyes roll. Talking about racism, I'm going to link all this together. A bunch of news outlets the other day posted a kid in blackface at I guess that's an NFL game. Yeah, an NFL game. What's that? National Football League. Obviously, it is NFL. Americans roll their eyes. Anyway, he's at a Washington Redskins game. Is he? No, Kansas City Chiefs. Okay, doesn't matter too much. The kid's in blackface. Okay,
Because
I'm going to tell you.
Oh.
So the photographs of him profile. So they got half of his face in, and that half of his face is black. The kid looks like he looks like he's in blackface. And to compound the problem, he's also got a Native American headdress thing on. Anyway, basically the articles, NFL needs to speak to this kid. Yeah, I don't know, do what to him, beat him up, whatever. Other photographs show the kid, he has got half his face painted black. The other half of his face is painted red because basically he's just coloured his face in red and black with the colours of his team. That's what he's done. What's then quite funny is the people in the comments, half the people in the comments say, haha, like, social media, or actually not so much social media, but kind of mainstream media is trying to, drum up a narrative that isn't there. Half the people saying that, and it's outrageous. The kid's just wearing red and black for his team. And of course, the other half of people that had been gone, full in on the blackface thing are now rampantly searching for something else to complain about. And so, of course, I've gone with the Native American headdress. So you got half people going, haha, it doesn't matter at all. The kid's just in black and
Did you
red.
say that was the Chicago's? Which game?
This is a Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, okay.
And the other half people are going, no, but he might be doing
Chiefs
that.
as in like a Native American chief.
Yes, it's like I don't know. If you live in Kansas, is your NFL team the Kansas City Chiefs? I imagine that there is historically some sort of...
Like the one on the Griswolds.
Yeah, there you go. Isn't that Washington Redskins? But it's all the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can you even
but there's
say
a big...
Washington Redskins? I don't know. We're out of our wheelhouse. Let's leave it. We'll come on to Elon Musk later. I'll talk about his advertising thing because I like Elon Musk is becoming... If you want to come on the podcast, Elon,
sure he'd love
you're
to.
welcome. Right. We ran against the old people. We ran on the tumble
I'd up the
later.
IQ of this room very quickly.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a fine line. Do you know, like if you go so far left, woke, you eventually become right. Yeah, it's kind of like the circle of whatever, stupidity. Elon Musk appears to be so genius that he's stupid. Not in a bad way. It just appears that if you go that far, you go, smart, clever, really clever, genius, flipping lunatic, and then you kind of come back around to
I don't
moron
reckon.
again.
I reckon you're just so far on the genius scale that nobody else really understands it. So
Okay, that's one
you probably just
theory.
look down on so many other people thinking, why are all these people such morons?
Maybe. That's like a dog looking at us and going, "What are these? Why are they putting food in bowls? Just eat it off the floor, you lunatics."
Yeah.
Anyway, what else did we do? That was it. Oh no, I tell you what we did. This is a funny story, as if I haven't spoken enough. The binge eating video. So last week, last Sunday, I put up a video on binge eating. And it hasn't done as well as it should have done because YouTube crushed it. And I'll explain why, because it's quite amusing, perhaps, or perhaps not. Who knows? Look, here's the thing. I made this video about me eating too much food occasionally, and I think that's genuinely useful content, and it is. I know it is because I get enough emails from people saying, "Oh my God, you're speaking to my truth," or whatever people say nowadays. To know that it's valuable. In fact, I got a great email I mentioned this girl in a minute. So I did this video on binge eating, and I know when I'm making the video that it's potentially going to be a tiny issue because I've made videos on binge eating before. I've put the word binge in the title of the video. I've done that before, but I haven't done it since April of this year. And in April of this year, YouTube kind of rejigged their policy on protecting vulnerable people, which is a good policy to have, no problem with that. And the long and short of it in relation to eating disorders is that, really they almost kind of banned them. That's a slight oversimplification. I'll explain what the policy is in a moment. But I was aware that they'd kind of ramped up their strictness on this issue. So anyway, I put this binge eating video up, and the thumbnail for the binge eating video is it's one of me kind of shirtless and a bunch of food. And what I was trying to portray there was, look, you can appear to be in reasonable shape
and still be a binge eater.
And still be a binge eater. That's the point. Yeah, don't because a lot of people see. Yeah, I don't know, whatever. If you see Lizzo saying, "Hey, it's okay to eat 9 donuts," okay, I'm not sure that. I mean, some people will relate to that, but a lot of people, and I wouldn't relate to that. I would think that she's not speaking to me. So anyway, I try to kind of and she can speak to who she likes to. I'm not having to go at Lizzo. Oh yeah, or want to upset her. Too many jokes going through my head. Let's bring it back on course. Right. So that was the thumbnail. Me, shirtless, looking as much as I can at the ripe old age of 50, hot and sexy, and then some food. And I called the video, I don't know, my binge eating hell or something. I don't know.
Binge eating with me for 24 hours or something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah. And I kept it pretty serious. In fact, I actually opened the video with a very funny joke about binge and how. Yeah, I opened it with the funny joke, which I cut from the video. I cut the opening joke. If you're wondering why the opening to that video doesn't have the normal sort of credit scene fly up, it's because I ditched the opening because I thought, no, let's keep this serious, relatively serious. Anyway, put the video up, does well. go to bed. I put it up on a Sunday evening, whatever, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, go to bed at whatever, late 11 p.m. and it's seen by 40 odd thousand people, which is good. Those are good numbers for a Sunday night. And it indicates that I'm going to wake up in the morning, it's going to be on 50 or 60, and it's going to then probably get close to 100,000 by the second day. That's for us that's good. 24 hours, 100,000 is nice. Anyway, I wake up in the morning and I look and it's still on 40,000. That's weird. I look at the little graph and the graph shows that it flatlined at about midnight. Views just stopped dead. What the heck's happened to that? And then I noticed that it's got a restriction's been put on it. And the restriction, in fact, it's got 2 restrictions put on it. First of all, it got shut down for advertising, which basically means that YouTube say adverts aren't going to run on this, or if they are, they're going to be from companies that just don't care who they advertise with, because your content is just inappropriate. You're not going to get adverts for big mainstream companies, which kind of kills a video, really. But that's not
revenue-wise, it kills the video.
Revenue-wise, and also YouTube, if they aren't going to advertise on it, they aren't going to pump it out. So it kind of kills the video. But it's the lesser of the 2 problems, because the other thing they did, they hit it with an 18+ restriction. Now, an 18+ restriction basically means that not only can you not watch the video unless you're over 18, it's not quite as simple as that. You also have to have an age-approved account, which means you need to have set up on your YouTube account the age approval, which means you need to have sent YouTube your copy of your driver's license or your passport or something. And no one does that. I mean, we've done that because you need that to obviously get paid by YouTube. But if you're just a regular YouTube watcher, you don't need that. Most people don't have that. So that kills it dead. No one's watching that video. And because no one's watching it and can watch it really, YouTube don't bother sending it out to anybody. So that video is dead. And I thought, oh my goodness. And so very quickly I changed the title. I take the word binge out of the title. I changed it to, I don't know, I eat too much or something. And I fire off some emails to people and start some little chats with the email support, YouTube support people. And I'm basically saying, look, this is a useful video. You go read the comments. People are on this thing last night before you killed it saying this is really helpful stuff. This is, and I'd received, at that point, a DM from a girl, 16-year-old girl, who now wouldn't be able to watch that video. Ironically, most 16-year-olds can probably get around that restriction quite easily, but theoretically couldn't watch it. And she had said, I'm a binge eater, I struggle, I want some tips on running. I mean, people often say, oh, I'm not your target demographic. No, you are. If you're off your butt and you're interested in doing something, you're my target. Sounds like I'm targeting 16-year-old girls now, but you know what I mean. Look, I said to the YouTube, guys, you've made a mistake on this one. Reconsider. And I then went and read the proper rules on eating disorders on YouTube and realized that this was a pointless exercise because the rules are this. Again, slightly in summary, if you mention eating disorders, which is binge eating, it's bulimia, it's anorexia, basically if you eat in a disordered way, and I mean, there's no question. In fact, I actually went to lengths to make sure people understood that binge eating was an eating disorder and it wasn't just too many cakes, because that's an important distinction. Because if it was just too many cakes, stop eating those cakes, you greedy lump, would be a genuinely useful thing to say. But stop eating those cakes, you lazy lump, when you're in the middle of an eating disorder is like saying to an alcoholic, put
down the beer.
Put down the beer, yeah. So I read the rules. Eating disorders, basically, if you mention eating disorders, actually, no, I should add to that. If you mention eating disorders and you also mention imitatable behavior. Now, what does imitatable behavior mean? It just means if you say or show something that could be copied. So, for example, if I did a video that said, I am a binge eater and it depresses me, it leaves me with weight issues, I struggle, I could say that. If I said this, I'm a binge eater, all those other things I just said, and as an example of that, I eat 4 bowls of Cocoa Pops for breakfast, I'm now into the realms of imitatable behavior because somebody could go, oh, interesting, 4 bowls of Cocoa Pops, I'm going to have some. So you don't have to show Cocoa Pops. I mean, that would probably even worse. You just have to, in some way, provide a trigger. So if you say, eating disorder, binge eating, whatever, and then a food item of what you did or what you ate, you're in trouble. That video is just not happening. Okay. They then have the caveat, which is if there is some educational or artistic merit, or you are somebody in recovery describing your journey, as it were. In other words, there's no kind of ill intent here. You're not saying, hey, binge eating's good. Then we will allow it with the age restriction, which basically means your content can be findable, but really it's kind of not, because no one's going to see it. And that's what mine got hit with, the age restriction. So, I mean, very, very frustrating, because there are millions of views, billions of views on regular eating videos. I could make a video, and I have made videos with hundreds of thousands of views saying, here's me stuffing my face for fun. Ha ha ha, stuff my face. You can do that, but you can't say stuffing my face isn't always ideal, and sometimes it's with Cocoa Pops. Boom, banned. It's frustrating. So I thought, okay, this video is now dead. How do I salvage something from this mess? I got a bunch of people asking me why the video has now disappeared. I'd linked to the video, and if you link to an age-rated video, that link basically becomes a dead link. So I've got this link on X, Twitter, X, formerly known as Twitter. Can we just say X from now on? Okay,
I think so.
I've got this link on X. That's now a dead link. So I've got to explain it. And also, I'm not going to get paid for this video. And that's not a huge issue, but it'd be, on one video, but it'd be nice to get, I put a lot of time and effort into it. So I sat down and I wrote a new video, a long video. And the new video was basically me explaining what had gone on. And I thought, what I'll do is I call this video like something like, YouTube banned my video or something, and that will get some views. It's a bit clickbaity, but it'll get some views. But what I don't want to do is upset YouTube. I don't want YouTube to see that, thinking, what's this person moaning about? And then think, oh, it's someone complaining about us and sort of, I don't know, shadow ban me from behind the scenes or whatever. So I thought what I'll do is I'll angle it that they're right. So I called the video something like, why YouTube were absolutely right to ban my video. And I was then just going to explain what I've explained, that they have this policy, it comes from a good place, it's with good intent, but unfortunately my video fell foul of it. It was a kind of, what a tricky place we're in type approach. And I'm sitting down here getting ready to film it, okay? And as a jokey kind of way of starting the video, I had a few people, my son included, saying, don't send me a link, because I sent him a link to the video early on, and he sent me a reply saying, do not send me links to videos where the thumbnail is you half naked, disgusting weird old man. So I thought I'd do this, would be funny. I'm going to read to you now the intro to the video that I wrote to explain why the video had been taken down for the eating disorders thing. Here's the intro. A few days ago, I uploaded this eating challenge video, but you may not have seen it because YouTube blocked it to most people. I can show you the thumbnail here because I blurred out the offending content, at which point I was going to show that thumbnail with the food all blurred out, but me still sharp and clear. And now some of you noticed what happened and asked why. So in this video, I explained the problem, why YouTube were absolutely right to do what they did, and where it leaves that sort of video going forwards for me. And if you're thinking, hang on, surely you blurred the wrong part. Did YouTube not step in because that is an outrageously gratuitous and sexually erotically charged image of a semi-naked man? No, YouTube just thought it was some old bloke in his pants and had no issue with it, which might have been the most hurtful thing about the whole process, or words to that effect. Basically, it was like, ha ha ha, I wish they had thought that was, But no, they had a problem with the food. Anyway, I sit down here, I'm about to write the video, I'm about to record the video, and I get an email from YouTube saying the restrictions have been lifted. I'm like, oh, hallelujah. And I read the email to see why. What was your problem with it? What was, or more interestingly, why have you now released it? I don't quite, because it does kind of fall foul of your rules. Anyway, right at the bottom, they explained, and they said pretty much this. They said, be careful when you post imagery on your thumbnails that is so I forget the exact term, but basically borderline pornographic. They had no problem with the eating issue whatsoever. It was an old bloke in his pants. They thought it was
Sexualized.
I'm too sexy for my YouTube. So sexy it hurts. I mean, unbelievable. So there you go. So if you're wondering why the video you couldn't watch it, it's because I'm just
Who sings that? Is that Fred?
right. Said Fred.
Fred.
I'm just too sexy. Do you know what? What's insane? Again, every single video on I don't know bodybuilders who are just walking around in their little lycra thongs, they're okay. But me, do you know what? What's interesting? The hot pants things I was wearing, I had lots of compression shorts on. Those were the sort of compression shorts that girls just wear to the gyms routinely and film themselves as oh, here's me doing. They all do Romanian deadlifts, don't they? That's all girls in the gym seem to do, Romanian deadlifts.
Which one's that one?
It's here's my butt video.
Okay.
Anyway, so there you go. That's the end of my story. It rambled on a bit. Basically,
Did ramble.
I was too hot for the thumbnail. Anyway, and that video is now dead in the water because having killed it, it doesn't really,
come back to life.
not in the way you'd want. So if you want to do me a favour, go watch that video and comment. I don't know, nice body. Right, let's move on. What's next?
What is next?
I'll tell you what's next. What is next? Well, actually, there's not a huge amount. We're going to talk about the Patreon question and answer thing. But before we do that, should I tell you the Elon Musk thing? So just so you're up to speed on that. Elon Musk, people. I mean, like him or hate him, you got to like him. He's so basically he posted, he didn't post.
Endorsed.
He endorsed, whatever, liked, whatever the term would be. Retweeted. I don't know this terminology. I don't really use X other than to throw my videos onto it. So I'm not really an X user. Actually, if you stop using it, are you an XX user? Anyway, he retweeted or something a post that was deemed to be anti-Semitic. So and actually he apologized for it. I think
he has it. It's one of the most stupid things that he's done.
Indeed, and Elon Musk saying that's the most stupid thing I've done is that's
big.
There's a high bar. So he was wrong. Then he posted something else, or he retweeted somebody complained about the fact that the white race was kind of brainwashed to feel guilty about its past, as though we were the only. I say we as a white race member. We are the only race to have ever done bad in the world, and blah 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 blah. And again, he kind of whatever retweeted it or whatever, and everyone kind of called him out as a white supremacist. So he's been tweeting and retweeting some daft stuff, and consequently, some advertisers, Disney most notably, have because Disney are as talk about go so far left you become a lunatic. I mean, Disney are. I mean, my goodness! I tell you what,
wasn't Walt Disney just very, very racist though?
Let's not
back in the day.
Let's not slander people that you're dead, aren't you? So can you? I don't know is the answer. I don't care. That's not the conversation we're having. Okay. How racist was Walt Disney is not the conversation we're having today. Because he's dead. Actually, could use him as my 95-year-old.
Is Walt short for something? Walter?
I think Walt might. I don't know. Is this an interesting conversation you want to have?
Sorry.
Well, no, I mean, if it is, we can talk about Walt. But
I just wanted to know if it's short for something. It sounds like one of those names that is short for something.
Yeah, Walterbold.
Walter.
Right.
That would be such a cool name for a dog. Walter.
Oh, my God. Do you know what? It is like, talking to Disney, doing this podcast is like doing a podcast with a Disney character. Like one of the inanimate objects that still is able to speak. Aren't there Disney films where some of the cutlery can talk and stuff? What's that film?
Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast, yeah. Yeah. At this point, I'd rather have a teapot.
For Cherie.
Listen, so a few advertisers have said, right, we're out of here. And Elon Musk was interviewed about the fact that, X is potentially going to go down the toilet because it's going to run out of money because there's no advertisers on it. And he said, okay. And the guy was like, interviewers hate interviewing Elon Musk because he doesn't play by the the how you should be interviewed rule book because he doesn't care because he's too rich. I say he's too rich. That's part of the problem. But problem's the wrong word. That's part of the issue. It's not just that he's rich. He also has, like them or not, or agree with them or not. He has his morals, as it were. And again, right or not, he has them. And you might even think his morals are wrong. Doesn't matter. He has them. And unlike most people on Earth, he sticks to them, and more importantly, is able to stick to them because he has so much money. Right. So the guy says, "Yeah, you're going to take Twitter X under because of." He said, "No, I'm not. The advertisers are. If X goes down because no one's advertising, that's the advertisers, and let the Earth judge them." And I love how he uses the Earth all the time. He really is like, he's thinking in terms of like, well, there's this one planet, and then we'll live on this other planet. That's how he views it all. Anyway, so he's like, let the Earth judge how that plays out. And the guy's going, yeah, but they're going to take their money off of you, and they're going to, and at which point he just gets so disgusted. He's like, they're going to blackmail me, and he then says, it's the funniest line. He goes, blackmail me with money, and he looks because he's obviously got so much money. He's just so disgusted that they would even bother to. I mean, it's just his contempt for companies that would try and blackmail him with money, and he's literally go fuck yourself. And then while
Okay, well, if you say that, we can't put it on the channel.
yeah, we can. We're allowed on the podcast. Yeah, sorry. If you're someone, well, to be honest, if you're so sensitive that you can't handle one swear word, go jump off that cliff we were talking about
But
earlier.
I thought you can't then put it on YouTube.
Yeah, we can. We're fine.
Okay.
We're fine. You throw me right. So anyway, having hit the interviewer and the audience with his "I don't care, screw you" attitude. What's quite funny is while the interviewer is kind of gathering his thoughts as to what his follow-up question is going to be, Elon just repeats the phrase like with this kind of giant pause between each word, just in case anyone didn't hear it. He is just full on beast mode. And again, like him or hate him, the guy has an opinion and sticks to it and doesn't care. He's just, and he even says, "Hi, Bob," which is a reference to Bob, forget his surname, who basically runs Disney. He just does not care.
That's not as good as name as Walt.
Oh my God. I can't help you on that. What Robert then? He doesn't say Robert.
Still not as good.
So anyway, Elon Musk. He's and it's a fun interview. I mean, you should watch the whole interview. He is just he's just disgusted basically at the idea that you should be able to.
You wonder why his share prices and his stuff goes up and down.
I'll tell you what's interesting. He's getting hammered in the press, and what's quite interesting, just to tie back to a story from earlier. The reason he's getting partly hammered in the press is because an awful lot of the people writing for the press, inverted commas journalists, have to be supportive of the companies he's basically telling to go take a jump, because they're effectively paying their wages. So that the problem is Elon can afford to say screw you to the advertisers. The journalists can't. So when they write up that story, they have one eye on a good story and another eye on who's paying their wages, which ties back to the royal story, because when the press in this country write about the royal family, their desperation, and it is absolute desperation to stay on the right side of the royal family, is palpable. It doesn't matter what your views are. I don't care if you hate Harry or Meghan or Charles, or you're a big Henry VIII fan. It makes no difference. When you read an article written by the UK press about the royal family, even if they want to attack the royal family for whatever's happened at that point in time,
Andrew, a good one.
Even one of them is basically a borderline. Can we?
Would you say it's a sex offender?
I'm going to say he's a naughty boy. Okay. Even when one of them is a naughty boy, they are still absolutely desperate to stay on the right side of the royal family, because they want to be fed news stories. And if you're now thinking, hang on a minute, why would the royal family want to feed news stories to the press? It's because if the royal family don't feed news stories to the press, the vast majority of people in the UK would forget we even had a royal family. And once we'd forgotten we had a royal family and then remembered, we'd probably think, well, do we even need one? At which point, I know some people in other countries are thinking, oh my God, it's the best thing about the UK. No, if you live in the UK, it really isn't. It really isn't. I've seen Buckingham Palace, and I can assure you, Buckingham Palace would have been there for me to see it.
The best part about that.
Whether we had a royal family or not. I say I've seen it. I've driven past it. I can't
Walked
imagine.
past it. My favourite thing about the...
Can you imagine going in it? Can you imagine being so bored with your life that you want to go and look around somebody else's big old house? Gee, good grief.
Only if I was like intending to buy it.
Yeah, exactly that. I would view I'd view
I imagine
Buckingham
it
Palace
costed it.
only on the basis that I was viewing it to buy it. And the first thing I would do, check the water pressure. I hate buying a new house or indeed staying in a hotel room and there's no water pressure. I'd be there. I'd be straight there. Which of the 94 bedrooms in this wing are mine? Yeah, bathrooms. Well, I'm assuming all the bedrooms have got bathrooms.
Reckon they all have en suites? I don't know.
I want someone checking the water pressure. Anyway, so there you go. Should we do the Patreon thing?
Yeah, we haven't done what's coming up.
You got to watch that interview. That is really funny.
Should we do what's coming up first?
Yeah, what is coming up? I don't know what's coming. Oh, we're going on. Go on then. Yeah, take it away. What's coming up?
Firstly, as stated by the T-shirt, we are now in December. We are officially in Christmas mode.
I can't see a T-shirt. What's on it?
Friends scene, armadillo.
Okay. If you're listening to the podcast, Jen's got a Friends Christmas T-shirt on.
Because it's the 1st of December, which means officially Christmas mode for us.
For you. For you. Christmas for me starts Christmas morning. I statistically, I feel like one of those people now on Facebook. If you're the person that cut me up on the A4 this morning, if you're one of my neighbours listening to this podcast and you put your Christmas tree lights up, rip them down, please. Rip them down. No.
You mean the ones that put them up halfway through November?
Oh, rip them down. And even now, I don't want to see Christmas tree lights on the 1st of December.
You're going to is our house has got lights up.
Yeah, well, I wish you'd rip them down as well.
Scrooge.
Yeah. Carry on. What's going on?
And then on Monday, we are off out of this country to somewhere warm.
Yeah, and with less Christmas tree lights because we're going to Egypt and they do Christmas because they know that some people at the hotel will be
in Christmas
mode, but they do it in a way that I love, which is they drag a ropey old tree out of their storage and they stick it in the foyer and they kind of throw three baubles at it. Yeah,
done.
Good. That's the way I want Christmas done.
We're too much in the sea snorkeling to care about Christmas, I saw that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I appreciate this is kind of coming from a point of privilege or a place of privilege in that we can afford to do it. But if you can afford to do it, go on holiday in December and come back when it is actually Christmas. And if you're thinking, oh, we could do that, but then we would better go on holiday during the summer with the kids. Yeah, you're taking the wrong holiday. You're taking the wrong holiday. Go without your kids. I mean, people that take their kids to Egypt.
Yeah, but then you've got to get your kids looked after for the whole week. I mean, it's hard enough getting the dogs sorted out. Imagine having to offload your children.
Okay, I don't have kids. There you go. There's a public service announcement. Don't have kids. They're having had 4 of them. I don't rate the experience. Yeah, we're off to Egypt. And in fact, interestingly, the podcast next week will come from Egypt. We're going to record it. We're going to record it in
whilst on holiday.
Yeah, so I'm not quite sure how or where, but yeah, it'll come to you.
Poolside.
Yeah, well, poolside's, but we don't need to be poolside because.
Although that definitely won't be able to go on YouTube because that would be me and you sat literally half naked.
Well, yeah, because we have a private kind of little pool.
Yeah,
space.
we're not going that naked.
Yeah, we've gone full YouTube influencer. We have a little kind of
swim up hotel,
little swimming pool outside of our hotel room, and it's all very private and cool. Anyway, that's happening. Also on Sunday we've got a 10k race.
We do.
Very fun actually. It's a race around Goodwood Racetrack, a racetrack I have raced around on my motorcycle and driven around. Actually, I drove a Lotus Elise around Goodwood. Going to run around it. Be quite fun.
I wonder how many times you have to run around it to do 10k.
I believe it's about 2 or 3 laps.
Times.
I think it's a couple of. I think maybe I'm wrong on that. I'm trying to remember how long it took me to get around Goodwood on the bike. Can't remember. Anyway, we're going slower this time.
Probably.
Yeah. In fact, interestingly, when you run up the straight, goes slightly uphill, there's a kink halfway up. And as you jog up at it, you might not even notice there is a kink. But I can assure you on a motorbike flat out, you're well aware there's a kink there and you don't want to get it wrong. So, yeah, obviously staying there that motorbikes are faster than humans. It's not huge news, is it? Right. Okay, we're going to finish off with a new feature called
Patreon input.
Patreon input. Right. So if you've got Patreon, you get the Patreon app, and there's like it's like a WhatsApp sort of facility within it where we set up chats, and one of the chats is, what do you want us to talk about in the podcast? So people have asked us some questions. I'm going to whiz through them now and answer them. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, buckle up. Lots of people saying good idea. Somebody saying your binging video was the best one ever. I mean, that's lovely. Thanks, Sarah. But equally, that's not really what this chat's for. You're supposed to be giving us ideas to talk about. And you don't need to give me the idea to say how good I am. Okay. I mean, it's appreciated, but it's also
He doesn't
pointless.
struggle with that one.
Not required. Although she's right. Okay. This was interesting. Someone said, Mark, good name, Mark. He said, it'd be good to have an update on your eating regime since you started training with Jade. Jade is my coach. Whether it's helped you to be restrictive eating and potential for binging and so on. I got to say, training with Jade, or training with anybody actually, because I trained with another coach before Jade, helps. There's no question it helps. I mean, for me, the biggest thing with my training or my eating going off track is that I don't have anybody to be accountable to. Yeah, I have nobody. I have no.
By your wife.
I have you, yeah. But I don't have gym buddies. I don't train with a group. I don't have. I'm very. It's why I do this job. I don't really like people. Here I get to talk to millions of you, but I don't have to actually do anything with you. So it's the perfect opportunity for somebody that wants to be kind of creative but doesn't actually want to mingle with humans. So I don't have anyone to be accountable to, but yeah, with Jade I do. I do have someone to be accountable to. So it's helped is the answer. I mean, there's a slightly more complicated issue in that because it helps, it makes my eating more restrictive. So does that then make binges worse when they do happen? I don't know. I don't think so. I think
they're just on a par to normal binges.
Overall, it's a net positive. I feel in pretty good shape, and I put that down to working out with the coach. So I'm happy with it. Also, he goes on to say, this is an intro. I've wanted to talk about this a little bit as well. He said, I've seen a lot of YouTubers and Facebook shorts, personal trainers, inverted commas, I put those in there, advocating the eat what you want. What are your thoughts on that? No. Newsflash. The vast majority of personal trainers are personal trainers because they look like they could be personal trainers. That's how someone ends up a personal trainer nowadays, okay? There are clearly some people out there who are highly qualified, and that's all well and good. Great. Pity there's not more of them. But what there's an awful lot of, especially on whatever Facebook and Instagram and stuff, is kids that either look jacked, and so their mates go, you should be a personal trainer, and so they become a personal trainer, by which I mean they go on the internet and start talking just gibberish about things to do with fitness. Or they don't even look like that. They just think it would be cool to be a YouTube personal trainer, and they go on the YouTube and start talking rubbish. And because they look a bit rubbish, they try and play the, I'm a bit fat, so I'm relatable angle. Get off my angle. That's me. So there's a lot of idiots there. So when they say, hey, eat what you like, no. These are kids who are genetically predisposed.
Hang on 2 seconds. This isn't just kids that do this, though.
No, this is younger people. This is people under 40. I don't want to hear from somebody under 40 that has never been out of shape telling me, eat what you like, it'll be fine. No, go screw you. You have not got a clue. You don't know what you're talking about. And I'll tell you what, if you haven't got some sort of nutritional or what am I even trying to say? A degree in something. Just get lost. Just get lost, all of you. Do you know what, Elon? If you want to do something, ban anybody for talking about fitness on the internet. And you're now thinking that's terrible, Mark, because there's some good people out there. Yeah, I get it. Baby with the bathwater, though. There's more useless morons talking about fitness that need to be got rid of than there are quality people. In fact, if I have to go, if you say, Mark, you can't talk about fitness anymore because you're the baby with the bathwater, fine. I'll ramp up the guitar channel.
I think it just mostly comes down to common sense, does it not? When people say eat what you want and they look like they're in the shape of their life, you just surely go back to the basics of if you eat what you like and that's 10,000 calories a day and you're only burning 2,000 calories a day, you're going to put on weight. You're not going to look like that person.
I know it's
Just simple maths.
Yeah, it simply comes down. It's lies and idiots. Okay, it's very, very cool to go on YouTube and say, "Hey, I ate 10,000 calories," and it's all cool. And it's lies. It's lies. It's like The Rock saying, "Here's my giant pile of pancakes I have for cheat meals." No, that's not true. That's just not true. It's funny and it looks good on internet, and
Well, you just physically couldn't eat that whole pile.
no,
could
it's
you?
not. It's not
In one
real.
go.
It's not real. The Rock is not some kind of superhuman. The guy's not even. He's not even that big. Everyone goes, "The Rock's huge." Find a photograph of The Rock stood next to Charles Barkley and Shaq. The Rock looked like he's about 10 years old. Anyway, my point is this. There's a lot of idiots talking rubbish. So no, can you eat what you like? No. If someone tells you they can, then they're a moron. But actually, the more interesting point he makes is this, which he kind of, it's a throwaway. He says, those people also have a copious amount of swear words dropped in. I'll talk about the swear word thing in a second. Let me just see if there's any other interesting comments. Somebody's saying, any thoughts about training abroad? I've moved to Australia. It's 30 to 40 degrees. We have no opinions on it, but next week we'll let you know.
I was going to say, well, we did do running in Egypt the last time we went, and I completely see where he's coming from. The hotter it is compared to where you normally are, it is harder to train for somebody that's not used to it.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, we had to get up really early. We were doing like morning early runs.
Yeah, I don't care. I like the heat. We'll let you know. We'll let you know next Friday. But I'm looking forward to training twice a day, at least twice a day, while I'm in Egypt. I'm coming back lighter. I'm taking all my food with me. I'm not eating their food. Nothing against Egyptian food, but I don't like it. When I say I don't like it, I don't like the
you say
food.
Egyptian food, I don't think that's really the case.
Actually,
You mean just all-inclusive food.
Actually,
that's the same anywhere.
I understand. Egyptian food might actually be amazing. The food this Egyptian hotel serves up, it is not on a par with its accommodation facilities. Somebody says, can you do a track session where you drink a beer every lap? Don't drink beer. I do drink alcohol very, very occasionally, but I never drink beer, so that's not happening. And can you name one movie made this century that would rival any of the good stuff from the 80s? Only one comes to mind, Warrior. Yeah, Warrior's a good film.
I don't think I've seen it.
Warrior, Tom Hardy, and actually, funnily enough...
Is it the boxing film?
No, I'll tell you what
Wrestling
it is.
film?
No, I'll tell you what it is. Tom Hardy, and I forget the name of his co-star. It's Joel something. But that guy that plays Tom Hardy's brother, also Nick Nolte, who might have even got Oscar nominated for it. You know who Nick Nolte is? 48 Hours, Eddie Murphy. Roxanne.
That still hasn't helped.
No, it's for me, not for you.
Okay.
Listen, the guy that's doing my head in now, I can't remember his name. The guy that is in Warrior that plays Tom Hardy's brother, he is currently in a rowing movie directed by George Clooney. You and me got invited to the premiere of it on Sunday as fitness rowing based social media celebrities.
Unfortunately, we can't go.
We can't go. We're too busy.
Very sad.
Too busy. We are sorry, George, Mr. Clooney. We're just too busy.
Because I've never been to a movie premiere and I thought it'd be quite fun.
It would have been fun, but we can't go. We're too busy. So we've turned that. That's kind of where we're at. That is where we are.
If anyone's asking
we are
or
turning
wondering
down George Clooney.
what the film is, it's called The Boys in the Boat.
The Boys in the Boat. Indeed. The Boys in the Boat also sounds like a slogan that somebody in the Tory government would be coming up with as a reason to vote Tory. I don't know, stop the boys in the boat or something. What we got? Yeah, okay, let's go back to the thing. Here's why. If you've not stumbled across this, you're lucky, but you probably have. Here's why influencers, fitness influencers, otherwise known as twats, on any form of social media swear a lot. Here's why they swear, okay? In contrast to me, who swears, I pick and choose when to swear. And by doing so, it becomes a bit like Elon, actually. Not to compare myself with Elon, but I just did. It becomes more significant. Meaningful. If I swear, I mean it. So when I say, yeah, the people on social media doing it are fucking idiots, I mean it. Here's why they swear. What they think is because they're too stupid to know otherwise. They think that it makes them relatable, okay? And the reason they think it makes them relatable is because these complete giblets have done nothing with their life so far, because they're all about 12 years old, other than hang around with other giblet morons in the gym where they all do swear to each other. So what they think is relatable, no, it makes you relatable to the morons that you work out with, okay, or you drink in the pub with, okay? You're relatable to them. It doesn't make you relatable to Earth, okay, as me and Elon like to say. That's your target audience. When you're on YouTube or any form of social media, your target audience is Earth.
Yes, but there surely is a percentage of Earth that are the same
There
mindset
is.
and more on like
There is.
who I'm assuming they're trying to target.
They're mates, all called Gary in the pub. Right. I've got a friend called Gary in the pub, actually. But actually, my friend called Gary isn't a swearer. Anyway, that's not the point. I'm going off track. Right. Look, they think it makes them relatable to those people. So that's why they do it. Okay. They're just too stupid to know, to even comprehend. In fact, I had this when I did my stand-up comedy course. Okay. I did my stand-up comedy course with a bunch of people that actually were in the entertainment world, entertainment industry. Okay. And they were all doing their comedy, writing their comedy, learning how to do stand-up comedy, swearing and talking about subject matters that just seemed to be really, I thought, kind of inappropriate. And they were like, no, it's what me and my mates talk about all the time. And yeah, okay, you and your sort of, uni mates that are all in the theatre world might talk about, I don't know, doing coke and effing and blinding, but you're not going to get on TV with that sort of material. And they all laughed at me and said, ha, TV, we're on a stand-up comedy course for newbies. Who's going on TV? I'm going on TV, you idiot, 6 months later, okay? Because you're swearing and doing material that only works in your little social group of other morons. And I'm doing stuff that actually appeals to just Earth. Consequently, Earth saw it if they had ITV2 at 3 a.m. Anyway, the reality is that swearing, and this is useful. If you are one of those fitness influencers that likes to swear all the time, the reality is this. Unless you are incredibly good at it and your personality allows you to get away with it. James Smith actually is a guy on YouTube, does it a lot. But is able to kind of get away with it because his personality just makes it work. I still wouldn't do it if I was him, but of any one of the ones that do it, his works. The reason why it doesn't work for most people is because, and the reason why they think it does, is because what happens is that other morons see them doing it and do find it relatable. Okay, super confident people that know their way around a gym backwards, see someone saying, oh, if you're not doing whatever, your lateral raises like this, you're an F in this and an F in that, and pick up the F in dumbbell. And they like it. They jump in the comments and go, yeah, I love this content. What's happening is the people those influencers are pretending to want to help, which is genuinely new people to the fitness world, find that to be intimidating and off-putting. Okay, if you turn up at a gym class or you turn on your phone and look at someone talking to you about gym classes or gym content, and you're met with somebody that's just swearing and just passive aggressive, it just doesn't work. It doesn't, and if it does work for some people, it doesn't work for most. So why do they do it? Because they think they're being relatable. Are they? Yes, to idiots called Gary that already know what they're doing and nobody else. And yeah, they do not deserve an ounce of success. That's my opinion on it.
Nicely put.
It does my head in. I don't understand why people do it.
By the rant.
They think they're being. Do you know what it's on a par with? It's on a par with bank adverts that always use a northern or certainly a regional accented voiceover for their advert because they think it makes them sound relatable and cute and cuddly and that kind of like, oh, we're fixing our interest rates just for you and our shareholders. Quick, get somebody with an Irish accent to tell everyone that it'll be fine. It's like that. Okay, rant over. Nothing else to talk about.
We finished? We're done?
Yeah.
Getting all the day?
I think so, yeah. I did want to talk about a Born in the USA topic, but we'll do that next week. Born in the USA, by the way, people, is just to keep Americans in their place, which is important because they're big and powerful and they have nice food. By which I mean burgers, and I'm hungry right now. We have to kind of keep them, we have to keep them in their place. So we ask each other, Jen and I ask each other a question about America that Americans are left thinking, what? Don't they know that? At which point they then go, wow, maybe we aren't the center of the universe. So it's good. It allows us to answer our questions, and it also is a reality check for Americans who think they are the world. I've got a good one.
Oh, so do I.
But do you want to do yours quickly then? What are we on? 1 hour 7. Oh, it's going to be a long one. Go on then, hit us with it.
I want to find out if any of our patrons noodle.
Oh, nice one.
Which I've only realised recently due to watching TV, which we never watch at a hotel, what noodling is.
Yeah, we watched River Monsters with Jeremy Wade, who people say I sound like, but I don't. And yeah, he was noodling, fishing for catfish. We now want to know, is that something that all Americans do routinely?
I reckon people only in like the South do it.
You say the South, not sure. Yeah, it appeared you have to be called Dwayne and have a family tree that looks a little bit like a thorn bush. But noodling, is that like a big thing in America? Because it's not over here. We have catfish over here, although I don't think we have catfish that could bite your arm off. So anyway.
Not the size of their catfish. Some of them were like 50 pounds.
They were some big old catfish. Yeah, because Dwayne struggled to pick it up. To be fair, he had a pack of beers in the other hand. So,
but I just can't believe that that's a technique people use to fish.
No.
It was ridiculous.
Indeed. Is it
in a scary manner?
Absolutely, it was scary.
I would not be doing it.
No, you would not. No. No, if I lived in that community, I would.
Would you ever go at noodling?
No, I would probably try and fit in by just learning to play the banjo.
And also, whilst we're on the subject of noodling, is there other forms of stupid, not stupid, I'm taking the stupid back, is there other forms of fishing or other sporting things that are called funny names?
Yeah, you've now got Americans that probably throw dynamite into the river.
Yeah, but what's that called? Like noodling? Is that called like spaghettiing? Like, I just want to know if there's some other funny names.
Blowing the shit out of the fish-ing. Joe, bizarre, my screensaver's just come on, and it's dolphins in a kind of, if it was catfish, it'd be even weirder. It's gone again. Right. Okay. Yeah. There you go. Americans. If you're now thinking, what does the whole planet not noodle? No, we don't. So stay in your place. But let us know if you do, because we're really interested in it. Genuinely.
Yeah. Just also like if you've had like your leg bitten off from noodling.
The catfish don't bite people's. I tell you what. Tell us this: does anyone ever die? Because in River Monsters, they kind of implied that death was almost inevitable if you noodle. Is it routine? I don't want to hear about one freak incident, because to be fair, the one guy they found who had trouble while noodling weighed about 500 pounds. And to be honest, that guy looked like he'd have trouble getting out of the bath, let alone getting out of the river. So I'm not surprised he had trouble. I think he had indigestion.
He got taken down by a big one.
I don't think he did. I think he got himself into the river, and fair play to him. He's out and about doing stuff at 500 pounds. And then got a little bit of indigestion, okay, from the 14 hot dogs he'd eaten that morning. And rather than put it down to indigestion,
I reckon they were eating like gator meat or something.
He said, no, the catfish got me. It wasn't the catfish, mate. It was the hot dog. That was nice, wasn't it? Look at that. I should be on TV. I was. ITV2, 3 a.m. I'm not going to do it. I'll do it next week because it's too long. No, we're at an hour 10. It's too long. Oh, and by the way, if you're new to the podcast, I mentioned the time we've been running occasionally, because when I say it's an hour 10 and you think this podcast's only 58 minutes so far, it lets you know how much gibberish Jen spoke and we therefore had to edit out. There's actually not much in this one. I reckon you're going to be about an hour 8 at this point. 2 minutes of Jen being problematic. And we don't have Elon's money to just kind of cast aside anybody that wants to criticise us. We have to be slightly mindful of the fact we have to pay the mortgage. Right, are you done?
Yes.
Cool. We will speak to you from Egypt next week. Until then, have a great week.
Yeah.
In the cold.
Everyone have a good weekend, and we will speak to you next Friday.